what's going on, guys? Simple Sports back. Another episode. Just want to talk about a couple of things today. A little bit of NBA stuff, maybe some NFL at the end. I want to start off with some of the NCAA stuff going on. So, for those of you who live under a rock, there's been some allegations as far as paying players, coaches, and all this other stuff going on in the NCAA college basketball scene. And I don't know, for anyone that's shocked by this, like, oh my God, had no idea this was happening. I don't know how, because it's pretty evident. You can find all kinds of stories. Just do a little homework. It's not that difficult. So I don't know how you can be shocked by this, but it's all coming out now, and I don't know what the solution is. I've stopped watching college basketball as much. It's lost its luster for me. I used to be excited about it, and over the last couple of years, 6, 7, 8, say 10 years, I've just not cared. There's so many one and dones. I can't keep track of who's got who and if they're coming back and if they're going to be good. And some of these teams get these players and they're really great for a year, and then they fall off, and then another year they get another great player, and then they're really good. Some of them continue to be good. Some Final Fours and Elite Eights finals every year. But I don't know. I can't get any attachment to the players whatsoever because they're in and out so fast. And so I don't build any, like college football, you get attached to players. You come to like certain players on your team. Some you don't like, and you have to deal with for 3 years, 4 years. Some players you do like, and they leave too early, you think, and you miss them. Like, there's an attachment in college football that you don't get in basketball because everyone is in and out so fast, and I can't take it. I'm not that big of a fan of the teams to want to sit down and watch every Indiana game and every Kentucky game and every UNC game and every Duke game and every Villanova. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not that attached to the teams because the players are in and out so fast. So I've stopped watching it. But what I think could be done, I don't know how this would work from a business standpoint. I haven't dug that far, and I heard, I heard it, or maybe it was a tweet I saw. Someone mentioned something like this. But doing the option to go pro from high school or to play in college for a minimum of 2 years, which I think would be great. I think that gives you the option. And I think that's all people want, really, is the option, because you're telling them you're going to force me to do it. And I don't want to do that way. Even if you give me one other option, maybe that's a way to do it. I don't know. Then you get enough players that say, you know what, I need some work. And, you never know. Some of them may still want to leave after that year. But at least they know they had the option to do otherwise. And if you agree to do it, then you have to go through with it. So I think people could live with that decision. I think if you choose to go to college in that case, then you know what you're signing up for. You're going to be there for 2 years, and then you can get to go to the NBA. And if you go straight out of high school, it's on you. Like, you got to make it. If you want to be an adult, you got to be an adult. You want to grow up, you got to grow up. And there have been players that have done it and are extremely successful. We have one in the league right now in LeBron James. It's possible. So it's not like it amazes me how many people call LeBron dumb. Like, listen, I wasn't always a LeBron James fan, but it was never off the court. It was always on the court. I was a Kobe fan. So I was never a LeBron James fan. But you cannot help but respect the person that he has become in this world. Like, you can't help but respect that. Straight out of high school, from where he came from, and is walking money and is a walking example of what you can be with hard work and dedication. And it doesn't mean you have to be a basketball player. It means you can be anything that you want to be as long as you put the work in. period. And for people to call him dumb and things of that nature, and he's just an athlete and he should do this and he should do that and just stick to basketball, and you get paid millions because you can play basketball. It's not just because he can play. It wasn't like he was born and got plopped into the NBA. He also had to learn how to play. He had to develop his body. Like, it takes work and dedication to do that. That makes no sense to me, but I'm going way off topic here. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of college basketball. And with all this stuff going on, I think that is a route that can be taken. Obviously, this thing will get hashed out and tossed around for the foreseeable future until we come to a conclusion. But, that's one idea. I think, again, I haven't gone much deeper than that. So I don't know how the behind-the-scenes stuff would work. But, I mean, something's got to be done. If you put yourself in this situation, you got to understand the possible consequences. And sometimes they're unintended. I mean, who's to say that this was inevitable, but was it meant to be this way? No, of course not. You wouldn't do it if it's so bad that you're going to change it. Why put yourself through that? So I don't think this is an intended consequence, but it is indeed a consequence, and it was probably unforeseen. And so now you got to fix it. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You got caught in a lie, so to speak, as a kid. Just come clean. You'll pay the consequence and do what you got to do. This thing it stinks. Fix it. That's all. Just fix it. And it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying the solutions are going to come overnight, but, it is what it is. Just fix it. So, with that, I want to go to the NBA. Talk about a couple things. First of all, I said this earlier, but I'm pretty excited watching my Lakers. It's fun. I know they're not good. Their record doesn't show, but man, it's for the first time in a long time, it has been fun to watch them play. They have their off nights, everyone does. They've had their bad nights for sure. But they make me want to watch basketball again. And I've always watched them, but it was getting to the point where I was like, man, like this is just, it's not good. And they make it fun again. So I love it. They are in position to make some moves, which is always nice. You always, if nothing else, you want to at least be available to make moves. And they are, so that's a start. And it's a good start. So we'll see what happens. But they've been fun to watch. I've been watching the Thunder. I don't know what's going on there. Listen, I love all those players. I don't love the team that they have. I love Paul George. I love Melo. I love Westbrook. I love Steven Adams. I mean, I like them all, but I don't know what's happening there. Let's see, Timberwolves, Jimmy Butler went down. I was sad to see, but thankfully it wasn't anything, career ending or anything like that. I mean, we'll see how he bounces back, but I hate to see that kind of stuff. What else? Kawhi with the Spurs. I don't know what to make of that situation. He kind of reminds me of me. When I was younger, I don't want help. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to kind of be reserved, leave me alone. And I mean, that's to the general public. I'm not saying he's that way with the staff. He could be, but you never know. But he's definitely a quieter person, at least from a distance. So I don't know. Maybe he wants out of San Antonio. Maybe he just doesn't trust people and kind of goes farther into a shell. I don't know. That's how I am. Like, when I feel uncomfortable, rather than speak out, I just go farther into my shell. So I don't know. It could be. There's some talk about the Lakers recruiting him. I just saw a couple of headlines today. Didn't really read into it, but that'd be nice. So the main thing I want to talk about are the two teams that everyone thinks is going to be in the finals, the Warriors and the Cavs. And man, after the All-Star break is when I usually get really dug into NBA. I follow it obviously, but I don't get really, really in depth until after the All-Star break, because that's when you really start to see the separation. You start to see who needs to win games, who needs to climb up in the seeding, things of that nature. That's when it gets close, and that's when it gets better. And from what I can tell, from what I see, I don't see how anyone can beat Golden State. I don't see anyone in the West beating Golden State. I don't see anyone in the East beating Golden State. And more importantly, I'm not so sure the Cavs are a foregone conclusion to get out of the East. And I trusted myself. I trusted LeBron. And I just said, once they went into the break that they would, get it together. And they did. They won they were 3-0 or 2-0 at least. And it very well looked like, okay, here we go. And listen, it's only been 2 games, but it's not the fact that it's been 2 games. It was the way those 2 games looked that concerned me. And there were a couple of points last night? Yeah, last night where I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? There was a couple of points in the third quarter. I was like, what is that? What is that? And the balls just I don't know, it just looked really sloppy, and I was like, man, they look fairly average as a team. Like, they just kind of look meh. Yeah, it's the Cavs. But I watch Golden State, and it's just, it's like a tornado touchdown. Get out of our way. I don't know. That's just the way it looked to me over the last couple of games. We'll see how things shake out. Barring injury, I don't think anyone can beat Golden State. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and it's like Negan just walked off that RV. Like, that's what it looked like. So I don't know. I don't think anyone. I don't even want to bother talking about anyone else in the West. Houston. No, I don't think so. I'm anxious to see them in the playoffs. I'm so on the fence with them. I think they could contend just because they can score a lot, but man, 6 games and that's it. San Antonio, no. The Thunder, no. Not the way they're playing. I think they were the one team that could do something. And it's a lot because of the mentality, not so much of the talent. Because I think Golden State is just the most talented team in the league. So, but I think OKC is so talented and talented enough that mentality would have been enough to, maybe rattle the cage. But the way they're playing, And who else? Denver, no. Portland, no. Nope. Don't see it. They are. Even if Boston got through, come on, man. Like, Golden State, it's ridiculous. It's unfair. It's unfair. I love it because I want to see someone. I want to see someone take him down. Like, I want to see that story. So we'll see. Like, I want these teams to succeed, but I try to be objective. I try to talk about what I see, and I don't see it happening. So that's really all I want to talk about in the NBA. Cavs are a mess. I mean, I watched them, and the Spurs just made it look easy. I mean, there were points where the Cavs looked, Yeah, so that's it. That's all I want to talk about with the NBA. NFL, really quick, I do want to touch on the Blake Bortles contract. And I think that's it, really. I don't remember anything else. Oh, the Marcus Peters trade. The Chiefs, boy, y'all really know how to screw it up, don't you? I mean, listen, I don't know. I wouldn't know Marcus Peters if he walked in this room right now. And that's mostly because it's football. You don't really get to see their faces, so it's not a slight. It's reality. Unless they're a quarterback for the most part or star wide receiver, you don't really get to see their face. But I know he can play, and I know he can still play. So I don't know how bad things were. There was reports that things were pretty bad as far as the locker room standpoint. So I don't know if that is a situation of, talent outweighing toleration. Maybe that's the case. And if that's the case, that's a different story. You got to trade him. And that's, it is what it is. But what did they get back? A 4th round pick and a 6th round pick, I think. But yeah, Rams just got a little bit better. You got to win. Draft pick. What's the draft pick? A draft pick is an empty hole. That draft pick is an empty hole. I mean, listen, obviously they are valuable. I'm not saying they're worthless. But if you're in a position to win, I mean, you were just in the playoffs, and if it weren't for a collapse in the second half on top of a comeback by the Titans, you going into Foxborough, where you were successful earlier in the season. So I don't know why you give up the talent for the draft pick. But hey, I'm not a GM, so I have no idea. Don't mistake me for one. But thank you to Jacksonville for giving Blake Bortles that contract, because you guaranteed at least one win for every team in the division. And very likely, if everyone is healthy, including Luck, and things work out with the Colts, probably have relegated yourself back to the bottom of the division. Because I don't know if you noticed, Deshaun Watson was amazing, and hopefully he comes back fully healthy. That's going to be a problem. Andrew Luck is a very good quarterback, in my opinion. Is he this all-time great that people kind of projected him to be? I never saw that, but I think he's good enough. And if he comes back healthy, new coaching staff, maybe things are different there. That's going to be a problem. And I hate to tell you, but Mariota is, I think, a little underrated. I think he gets a little slighted for who he is. Now, I don't, much like Andrew Luck, I don't think he's this all-time great quarterback, but I do think he's a little underrated for what he is and what he had to deal with. Their offense was, and I don't know, it could be because of Mariota. You never know. I'm not saying he's without blame, but that offense at times was like last year, okay? And they just got Matt LaFleur from the Rams. I wanted him as the head coach, but maybe he wasn't ready for that. And so when they didn't hire him and they hired Vrabel, I was a little upset as a fan. But then they brought him on as a coordinator. I was like, oh, okay. No, I really like this. Now, I like this. Now, this I do like. And so that's going to be a problem, is my point. And a young defense that's getting better, that's going to be a problem. And you just gave Blake Bortles a contract. So thank you. We beat you twice last year. Probably going to beat you twice again this year. So thank you for doing that. Blake Bortles got an extension. Listen, hey, get your money, man. I ain't mad at you at all. 100%. I'm not saying that. But thank you. I am not that concerned. I apologize because he's better at football than I'll ever be. But no, as a fan, I'm not that concerned. So I'm just going to leave it there. This was a little more relaxed episode. I tried to lighten up the colors on the logo. It was getting a little depressing with the gray, so I put some color in there. And I'm trying to do these more drawn out, more conversational episodes. So we'll see how that goes. Gives me a chance to kind of be a little bit more of myself, not so analytical. I don't like being analytical, so. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.